Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for November 16th. November 16th is the 320th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 321st in leap years, with 45 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is scripturient. Scripturient is an adjective that means having a strong urge to write. This word comes to us from Latin, meaning a strong desire to write. I don't have a first documented use date because it's not in common use, and so a history hasn't been kept on it. In fact, the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary says scripturient hasn't been used in centuries, and also warns, for those of us who do love to write, that we should be advised that when it was in use, it wasn't necessarily a compliment to be called scripturient. Now, if you happen to love words and have a strong desire to write, you might call yourself a scripturient logophile. I'm one of those. I've certainly been called worse. How about you? Scripturient. And if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments and we'll take a look at it. And with that, I've mentioned before that nowadays most of us enjoy paved roads to get just about anywhere we want to go. If not paved roads, then roads anyway, or paths at least. A couple hundred years ago, maybe not so much. That said, Missouri trader William Becknell arrived in Santa Fe, New Mexico from Missouri on November 16, 1822, and the way that he went would come to be known as the Santa Fe Trail. On November 16, 1849, a Russian court sentenced writer Fyodor Dostoevsky to death for anti-government activities linked to a radical intellectual group. Fortunately for him, the death sentence was later commuted to hard labor, and every time I see this story, I think that Russian court obviously has no idea how hard writing can be. Oklahoma Territory combined with Indian Territory to form Oklahoma, which was admitted as the 46th U.S. state on November 16, 1907. The name Oklahoma comes from Choctaw words that meant people and red, which we take to mean red people. Oklahoma. Oklahoma's best-known nickname is the Sooner State, after people who in pre-statehood days entered the territory legally or otherwise, and staked their claims to property sooner than anyone else. Oklahoma's motto is Labor Omnia Vincit, which means work conquers all. The capital and largest city is Oklahoma City, located in the middle of the state. Oklahoma is the 20th largest state in the Union, 28th most populated, and 35th most densely populated. As I mentioned at the outset, Oklahoma achieved statehood and became the 46th U.S. state on November 16, 1907, when one of my grandmothers will have been 5 years old. How about that? Happy birthday, Oklahoma. Now, if you're curious about any other topics I might have touched on in a previous episode for November 16th, I'll leave a link to one of them so you can check that out if you want to. The rabbit holes of research. Since we talked about Oklahoma achieving statehood, of course I thought about the song Oklahoma from Rodgers and Hammerstein's 1943 musical by that same name, followed about a dozen years later by the 1955 movie starring Shirley Jones and Gordon McRae, and then a TV movie in 1999. But there's also a lovely song called Oklahoma USA by the Kinks. Written by Ray Davies, Oklahoma USA was released on the Kinks' 1971 album, Muswell Hillbillies. This song gives us a vignette of a young working-class woman who gets through the drudgery of her life by imagining herself in the setting and as a character of the movies she's seen. I don't see anything to suggest that this song was ever released as a single, and while the album didn't sell that well, it did receive critical acclaim and a devoted fan base. That said, I encourage you to go have a listen to this song, Oklahoma USA by the Kinks. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. Okay. Cacophony is a sound. Cacophony is a noun that I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Alrighty, you got to read it the right way. Let's start over. It's 8 o'clock, so all of the reminders are going to be dinging. I forgot to turn those off. Okay, stop it. It's 8 o'clock. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.